April the 25th. Alright, April the 25th. I'm in Kuala Lumpur. There's the Twin Towers, as you can see, not the ones that were destroyed back in 2001, the Kuala Lumpur version. And yeah, this is day one. I'm just strolling about the city. At the present moment in time, it is the night before I leave for Jakarta. I'm just after taking a nice little stroll down Bing Betong, which is the nightlife area, and I'm staying in this area for my sins. Not really tempted by too many of the temptations nestled around the area. Maybe one or two brazzers that caught my eye, but I was able to walk past them nifty enough. I have had a nice time so far. So what can I say about my experience? I just left a man, or rather he left me. He is the kind of fella now that likes the sound of his own trumpet, but is clearly 100,000% led by his penis. He's like a walking, talking cock and balls. I met him at the pool. He owns a studio apartment adjacent to the hotel I'm staying at. And I agreed to meet him today. When I met him, he'd just left his car parked up on the pavement, more or less. He told me the first time I met him that he's got two restaurants. He's got two restaurants in the pavilion across the way from the hotel, but that his family own 20 restaurants around town. So if he's not a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, he's something en route. And in the depth of conversation, I'd say the most I got out of him was how to pick up underage girls at the airport, how to tell if a girl is giving you the eye and what to do if she is giving you the eye, how to get an incredibly rich and wealthy woman to have sex with you for no money, and basically how to let your dick do the thinking for you. And for yours truly, who has I'm no stranger around the block, I could identify him almost instantly as a fibber. You're telling me fibs now, buddy. He had a MacBook, state of the art, whatever that is, expensive looking young. And he said, I met a girl on the street. She gave me the wink. I got chatting to her. She was back in my studio after the first date, and within 24 hours she had given me this laptop. I broke up with her 48 hours later. Not so bad, sissy. So he's basically sleeping with women off the street, winking at them as they pass by, and somehow he manages to get a free laptop in the deal. Meanwhile, his family own an empire of restaurants about the place. He was like a dog off a leash as we strolled up the Bintang district, and I was trying to have a conversation with him, but he was stopped every couple of meters to oogle, to drool all over himself over any little bit of totty walking by. And I tell you what, there's not that many, most of the girls here, they're Asian or they're Muslim, and so they're lost in their own world. I can tell they're telling me, no, yeah, Malaysia's pure easy place to pick up girls. Man, it's so easy, you don't need to go on Tinder. You just have to walk down the street and wink at them. And he says to me, go up there and ask those two girls do they want to go for a drink. And I says, I'm not doing that. He goes, go up there and ask those two girls do you want to go for a drink. He says, I'm telling you they'll want to if you do it the way I tell you. And I said, okay, so what way is that? Just go up, right, tap him on the shoulder, give him a little smile and say, me and my friend are going for a drink, would you like to come along? So, didn't think much of it. I went over, tapped him on the shoulder. Hello there, how are you getting on? And to say they were startled would be an understatement. Like two deers caught in the headlights. I got an awful shock then because of their reaction, and I said, sorry to interrupt. And I walked away. And he said, how did you get on there? And I said, mate, they're fucking Asian. You knew right well that would happen, and he just laughs. Were we even talking about anything at this stage, or was he still regaling me in his conquests? When a girl wandered by and his jaw dropped to the ground, and he gave me the nod and the wink, and just U-turned and tore off into the distance, and then I could see him stop. She was standing at the traffic light waiting to cross, and he loitered nearby, and then he slowly moved across to her, and at a space of about a meter, I'd say, struck up a conversation. I could see her pointing in the direction of the Twin Towers, so he must have asked her for directions. And then she went to move across the road, and he followed her on like a dog in heat, and he was gone. What a crazy bastard of a man. And we're friends on Instagram, so I'll see him knocking about the place soon. I'll say I have no inclination for chasing skirt. I certainly don't have any inclination for chasing skirt like that on the street. I wondered, did he have any luck? He told me that he could quite easily get them back to his apartment. And it reminds me of this fella that I'm watching. He's coming up on my YouTube quite a lot. Dr. Orion Taliban. Is that his last name, Taliban? Dr. Orion. He's on the soft white underbelly. He's a psychologist. He has about 3 or 4 long video clips on the soft white underbelly, all of them about an hour long. And this fella, Dr. Orban, talking about relationships in 2024 and how it's almost counterintuitive. But the statistic is 1 in 3 men today between the ages of 20 and 30 haven't had sex in 12 months. And you would think now, seeing as how it's never been easier to try and find a partner, that there would be a lot more sex, that more people would be having romance and flirting away and what have you. He described it like this. He said, the man is like a fisherman. When you go on to a dating app, you can swipe and swipe and swipe, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. You can swipe away to your heart's content and get as many matches as you want. It doesn't bother you because you're fishing. And what are you fishing for? You're fishing for the type of fish who's going to give it to you for the least amount of hassle possible. He said men use as many of the resources as available to them in the least amount of quantity as possible to get the sex that they desire. Women, on the other hand, don't want to use sex at all and try and get the most amount of resources possible with as little intimacy that they can part ways with. Right? So again, polar opposite. The man uses resources to get sex, the woman uses sex to get resources. And somewhere in the middle of it all, a third of the 20 to 30 year olds are having no sex. He said that women are like hunters. Men are like fishermen, women are like hunters. The woman will lock eyes, antlers, or whatever analogy you want to use, on the specific man who has the ability to bring her up in the world. Yes, she wants resources, but she also wants social standing. And attraction is not nearly as important for that, because most of the time those kind of men aren't as attractive. So women are looking for men with the most amount of resources, and they're hunting them, and when they hunt them, they will chase like a gazelle in the wild. The man is like the gazelle, the woman is like the tiger, or whatever type of animal it is that chases the gazelle. But women fail to understand that they have the weapon of sex, that they have this ace card that they can use at their leisure to coax the man into their sphere of influence. because their greatest enemy is pride, that pride gets in their way, because they think, why should I have to give you sex? I should be able to get what I want without giving you sex, because I'm worth more. I'm worth more than that. I'm not just a handy lay. So pride is the greatest enemy of women. Cowardice is the greatest enemy of men. Men are too afraid to approach women these days. Maybe that they're conditioned to that fisherman mentality, that there's so many women online, they think they just keep on casting out their line, eventually they'll get what they want. So that these days men don't have to coax a girl as much. There's not as much chivalry or wordplay in how they impress. It was nice listening to him today, and am I getting any closer to a place of comfort myself? Just to say, yes, certainly. I think I'm closer to being more comfortable in my own skin. I'm closer to a place where I'm just sick of it, really, to be honest. I'm sick of my dick having its own conscience. I have been deleting and downloading dating apps, but I suppose so is other fella who's flirting with the idea of sexual abstinence. I was down the street yesterday and having a nice little look around. There was buskers all about town. There's plenty of nice noodle bars and coffee shops and what have you. And I wasn't bothered by the bars with all the loud music. But I did get to the end of that street I was telling you about, and there was a lot of sexy looking girls, and they offered themselves, they solicited. There wasn't so much hunting going on there as just pure genocide. I don't know how many people and how many men fall into that trap, but they whispered, or perhaps shouted, some kind of number at me, and it was my dick that heard, not me. You know, my dick doesn't understand what a wallet is. Never mind the repercussions of a street whore or any type of encounter with them. We were talking about intimacy today on the platform, and I described just that. My love-making machinery is undergoing refurbishment, and I'm not willing to let my willy get wet until it's fully refurbished.